Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well. I am out on the AT with my little Summer dog who is right below me at my feet somewhere. There she is. Hey Summer. And we are having a good time out here on the AT, and that has got me thinking, as it always does, about my thru hike. Since I just, a little over 2 months ago finished my thru hike and just doing a lot of reflection. So I debated whether to discuss this or not, but I think it's very meaningful to me, so I thought I would go ahead and share it with you guys. It does get kind of deep, so I will warn you about that. But everybody goes out on the AT for so many different reasons. Some reasons you plan to go out to let go of stuff, or to get over a death, or what have you. So many different reasons and different ways to heal out here. And of course I've done the AT thru hike twice, and it was very drastically different for me both times. So I wanted to go over, not only to share it with you guys, but also as a record for myself to reflect on in the future, because again, this was very meaningful to me. So I got to kind of start from the beginning. When I went out in 2018 and thru hiked, I basically, amongst many reasons for being out there, one big reason was to learn how to quote unquote shake out my raincoat. And what I mean about that is, and it's all in my book, I go into a lot more detail, but I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of what this was, because my second thru hike will make sense to you, and what I tried to, or attempted to accomplish. Shaking out my raincoat was my raincoat is like myself, or my aura, and shaking out droplets of rain, meaning shaking out social media, just tons of things that were affecting me in my life that were not serving me, like bad food to eat and chemicals. Like now we're a lot more minimalistic and we try to eat a lot cleaner. We don't use detergents with a lot of chemicals in them. But it also goes towards stress and stepping away from people that were, just not the best for me. To cause drama and stress that I didn't need to be a part of. Being out here, you're able to see things a lot more clearly. So it's easier to kind of go back and reflect on your life and figure out what areas you need to improve on and let go of, or change, distance yourself. That was also part of my career and a career change. So it was a bunch of things to shake out my raincoat and kind of have a simpler life, a better life, a less stressful life. And since that thru hike, I really try to put that into effect. So then come to this year, 2021, and I come out here to thru hike again for many reasons, different reasons, but I really didn't know completely why I was going out there. I finally figured it out, and it took a long time. I didn't figure this out until Maine, just so you know. So and being a solo hiker, even if you're not a solo hiker, it's a lot of time out here to think and reflect on your life, and just kind of decide the kind of person you want to be and the directions you want to go. But being out here this time, with it being such a challenge of being homesick aside, I learned a lot on this and accomplished a lot on this thru hike this year. But I finally figured out one of the main things I was out here to learn and put into practice, and instances that had happened on the trail helped me to accomplish this, was to learn to be and live above the rain. I know this sounds crazy, but this is kind of how in my mind I'm understanding it and break it down. To stay above the rain, okay, let me explain what I mean by that. It's complicated. What I did and what I accomplished is, or tried to realize, what I eventually realized after a lot of time, and is that you have to, and I say this for me, everybody's at different stages in their life of development, of understanding, of whatever they're working on and doing, of course. So I know this may not make sense at all to some people, and that's totally fine. But hopefully some of you can follow this and relate to it a little bit with me. If you do, please leave me a comment so I don't feel like I'm crazy. At least I understand. So hopefully you guys will too. But to stay and live above the rain, that is really essentially letting go of expectations, letting go of what you feel like you want to control, what you can control. And let me give you an example. So when I was out on the trail, I had people in my life that I really wanted to be a part of it, that I expected them to be a part of it, and I expected them to care and be involved and asked how I was and just be a part of my hike. And when that didn't happen, I would get very frustrated, angry, sad, scared at times, and just highly disappointed that certain people that I really find close to me were not being a part of the hike of something that was such a challenge for me to go through and do. The second hike for me was a lot more challenging than the first hike for many reasons, but that's not what this video is about. But I did struggle a lot on the second one, and I had to let go of that expectation of what I expected people to do or to say or to act, how to act. And the way I realized finally is I don't know who and what they are thinking about or where they are in their life and what they're going through. Maybe they were doing the best they could. Maybe they had a lot going on or crisis themselves or who knows what. But my expectation of what I thought that they should do, you know, I had to let go of that. And that goes for a lot of things. With people, with things that I want to do and accomplish, it's good to have goals, but you can't always control what is going to happen. Like, for example, there's the fires going on for these races that are happening around Tahoe and all of that. And as someone that runs a lot, if I was dead set on controlling my race and wanting to be there and do that race and that can't happen, I would be highly disappointed. I need to let go of that. I need to say that things happen for a reason, and sometimes that's not the right time for that to happen. And whether I understand what the reasons are or not is irrelevant. I need to let go of the expectation of what I think should happen. And that is living above the rain. That is living above the storm, above the drama, above the chaos. It's being at peace with where you are and who you are and what you're doing and how you're doing it and how it's accomplished. You know, I had that through hike and honestly, when you go through a through hike like that, anywhere, at the CDT, PCT, or even, you know, other long distance trails, it changes you. It changes who you are, and it changes, in my opinion, you for the better. It really makes you humble, and it so much happens out on the trail that is so meaningful and is so many lessons that is just incredible. It really is. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity for that experience. There's a huge tree I'm going to climb over, so if I slip and fall, that's why. But for me, I had to let go of a lot of expectations, mainly with people, because for example, one thing that was a big revelation for me was that there was a person in my life that I had done a lot of things for, and so I had expected things in return. in a caring and compassionate way. Like, I was so caring and compassionate for somebody, so I expected that in return for something difficult that I was doing, and that didn't happen, and it got me mad. So then I finally realized, if you're doing something for somebody with an expectation of something back, that's really not the right way to do it, or very gracious. You know, you're not going to help someone else out with the expectation, well, you owe me, or you have to do something for me in return. That's not how generosity and things work, unless it was otherwise determined and stated, of course. But, you know, I like to help people, and I love to do it as often as I can. And I had to come to the understanding and realization that I didn't need to expect anything back or in return. If somebody wants to be helpful to me, it's incredibly wonderful, but I don't expect it. And I just, it's nice to have those surprises, but especially with people that I know, that I really had an expectation of them being a part of my life or my journey. And when that doesn't happen, not being disappointed by it, because I can't assume to understand and know where they are and what they're going through in their life, if that makes any sense. So I'm practicing, and this is something that I have to consciously think about and remember and put into practice in my life, is to stay above the rain, stay above the drama, stay above the expectations, help people when I can. Of course, it feels wonderful to do that, as it feels great to receive help, and that's all well and good, but not to have any expectations in return that I'm owed something, or and let go of, really just let go of the outcome of what I expect, especially from people or other circumstances. One other quick example is Matt, my husband. He was leaving home from the gym one day, and he went over a curb, and his tire got stuck in the mud, but it was a really deep stuck, and it like sank down pretty far. We called the tow truck, and the regular tow truck couldn't even get it out. It was like a specialty case, and he was kind of upset about it, and it took a lot of time, and it was a big inconvenience. But if we were a little bit more conscious and wise about it, we would have understood that maybe him being there prevented him from being somewhere else where it could have been worse, where maybe he missed a car accident because he was stuck in the mud, or who knows what. But, you know, just because things happen in our life, I can't assume that it's all bad. It can happen for a reason, and I'm trying to be not only more optimistic, but I feel like this is a little more realistic in the fact that if I try to have less control over outcomes, especially people, then I will be less disappointed, less upset, less drama, and just all around more understanding, I believe. Because I don't want to be in my life and be angry. I don't want to be disappointed, especially with people that I love and care about. So I am trying to put this into practice, and it has been very successful so far. I have been a lot more calm since I've been home from the trail, a lot more understanding, and just less worried about stuff. You know, if things work out, great. If things don't, then they probably weren't meant to. And I try not to control it, or to have the expectation of what I think should happen. If things happen and go well, then that's wonderful, and many times they do. But when things don't, then there's probably a reason for it, and I don't always have to know what that reason is. So that's kind of what I got out of this hike, amongst many other things, lots of things, but that was a big one. that I really worked on, thought about, had lessons that pertain to that, where I had to learn and understand a lot of aspects of that before I finally came to that conclusion. So hopefully this makes sense. I will enjoy looking back on this and reflecting on it, and always a good idea not to go into a speech going uphill. So I'll try to be better about that next time. But if you guys can relate to any of this, or if this makes any sense to you, if you could throw me a comment about this, I would really love to hear what you have to say, what your thoughts are, how you feel, what you think. If you've, first of all, if you understand what I'm saying, and if you've put any of this into practice yourself and what success you've had, I would love to hear anything you guys have to say. So I will post this and anxiously await your comments. So have a wonderful, grateful, stress-free, wonderful day, and get outside and enjoy nature, have experiences, and let go of control. And we'll all have a lot better lives. And if we can all put that into practice a little bit better and a little more, I think we'll be better off. So far it's been working for me, and I hope to continue it. It's, like I said, it's a practice. So, and I have to consciously be thinking about it. So I know I'm going to stop rambling and try to catch my breath. But all right, guys, thank you so much if you've listened to the end. I appreciate it. And please let me know what you guys think. All right, see you later.